Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 206 is officially out, and with the previous chapter ending with Natsu literally getting his ass beat by his older brother, essentially, after getting a massive power-up, and Ignia getting a massive power-up, things shift to the worst. Natsu lost after using the attack that knocked acnologia at his strongest off balance, and Ignia treated it like it was nothing, which, let's face it, that's what acnologia would have done if he was actually able to move and had his left arm to block it. But after that, we got set up for the next section of the story, which this chapter confirms is not a new arc, but the next section of this much larger Dragon Kings Festival arc. Which, okay, that is what it is, but we're getting set up for the upcoming fights for right now against the Calamity Bloods. Which, thank God, because at least now we could potentially see some real fights now, because if these are the last group of antagonists that we have, this might actually be something pretty cool, and hopefully does not end super disappointingly or anticlimactically and quickly in comparison to the last fights against the last two groups. But I digress. Either way, this was a fun chapter, and we're getting matchups already, so let's just dive right into it. But once more, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos, and hype up the video to help boost us in the algorithm, and potentially bring more Fairy Tail fans here so we can keep talking Fairy Tail every single week, each new chapter, and every other discussion-based video we got. It would really be appreciated. And if you want to see more of me outside of this channel, I have a second channel called GW Comics, where I talk about American comic books. Right now, I'm DC-focused. I'm going to sprinkle in some Marvel, Image, and some other stuff like the MCU and DCU for the movies and TV show here and there. So we'll see how that goes. It's a passion project of mine I'm doing on the side, and we'll really appreciate if you guys go check it out whenever you get the chance. Links to that will be in the description down below and in the title card. But now, without further ado, let's just jump right into this chapter. Chapter 206 of 100 Years Quest, titled A Calamity of Dragons. Honestly, the perfect name for this chapter. Also, quick thought, I feel like if you could have called this a Thunder of Dragons, because that is literally what you would call a group of dragons, and we're literally facing a group of dragons now, but Calamity of Dragons makes sense because their group is called the Calamity Bloods. Anyway, the cover image is of Loxus looking like a Yakuza boss, smoking a cigar, with Misfortune by his feet. So it shows that, seemingly confirms that Misfortune is going to be the X-Seed for Loxus going forward, seemingly, which honestly I'm all for, and honestly I thrive to see Free jealous of a literal cat. That would be hilarious. But anyway, the chapter continues off from last time, after Ignia just completely charred Natsu, with Natsu just smoking on the ground, basically near death, as Ignia turns away, with the ground continuously shifting and turning with all of these dragons, seemingly phasing things out after everybody got separated as we go back to Gray's perspective. And in this instance, he senses that Natsu's magic just disappeared, as this is now at the moment where Natsu has been defeated. But just when he notices this, he is told that a flame burnt up another flame, saying, "Now I sense cold from you." As Gray looks up, as we see Anchor of the Calamity Bloods, the Sea Prison Dragon, as he says that he's going to kill all the humans here, saying that he's cooperating with Ignia for right now, but Ignia's flames disrupt the harmony that he wants. So, already for the dialogue, the Calamity Bloods are united for the single goal of Ignia's plan so far, but at least for Anchor, he does not really care for Ignia, as potentially he has his own real way of seeing the world and its own sense of balance for him, and probably sees Ignia as a threat now especially. So, that'll be interesting to see a bit more of him, hopefully. But either way, he makes his presence known to Gray. And he then unleashes a giant ocean of water around Gray to float him up to the surface as he is trying to drown him. Gray ends up trying to use his ice to make buoys so he can climb up and actually stay stationary for a bit. But Anchor says that it's futile, as he uses the water pressure to push Gray further down as the water just got heavier and heavier. But Anchor says something interesting here, saying, "You'd best not assume I'm on the level of Mercphobia. I am the water dragon god, the god of water," as the pressure begins to get to Gray, as his body begins to burst up and slice with blood coming from him. As we see him seemingly nearly go unconscious from the pain, he's about to hit the pavement with Anchor saying for him to be crushed. But it's then in a double-page spread, Juvia splits the water, saving Gray's life as he can finally breathe. With Juvia saying that she ended up coming here after sensing Gray was in danger. So now the two of them, probably one of the best combos in the fairy tale with how great their abilities just mesh with each other, as we've seen multiple times in mainline fairy tale, are together to face off against a water foe. Now, before we continue on with this chapter, people are going to say that Anchor saying that he is the water dragon god proves that he's now stronger than Mercphobia when he fought Lucy going crazy. I don't think that's the case. While I do think that these guys are genuinely strong, based on how he's talked about Ignia's flames, as well as just the sheer disgust and anger when he mentions Mercphobia, saying that he, with affirmation, is the actual water dragon god, shows that perhaps Anchor knew Mercphobia in the past, and perhaps is jealous that Mercphobia reached a level of strength where humans revered him and he was basically treated like a deity for his strength. So perhaps Anchor, based on how he's been speaking thus far, I could be digging way too deep into this, might have a past with Mercphobia before, they all got separated and ran away from acnologia in the past 400 years ago, and potentially now knowing what happened to Mercphobia, views Mercphobia in the past, potentially a lot weaker than he was, as a fraud, someone that took a place that was rightfully his. And based on his control of water right now, and we'll see in a second, he might think that, and it might potentially be the case now, but the possibility is not set in stone. I don't think these are brand new dragon gods, but they could be similarly in that wavelength due to how they were revived. Anyway, back to the chapter. Juvia is just all excited to see Gray again, and she also says that she came here with Gajil and Mira and everyone else, and right as she's going up to hug Gray, Gray says that now's not really the time for this at the moment, and Anchor is intrigued by another water user in the area, with Juvia saying that in a fight with water, she's never going to lose. Very confident. Also, this fight is, it's gonna be a slaughter, because these characters don't have their Dragon Slayer marks right now. That is something, unless Grays is still active from when they fought the Fire and Flame. I doubt it, because his guild mark does not show it, but they can't really damage Anchor without Dragon Slayer seals, so something's gotta happen. A Dragon Slayer has to pop in and help them. But anyway, in response to Juvia saying that in a fight with water she can't lose, all Anchor says is that when it comes to water, his water washes everything away, while Ignia's, in contrast, burns everything away. Gray says that Natsu's not beat yet, but all Anchor does is ignore him and unleashes an attack called Emperor of Water. And in a singular page, Gray and Juvia begin to just explode with ripples of water splitting them as a whole, as they both begin to turn into water and fall into puddles. As all Anchor says is that I can kill humans with a single blow. As we cut away from this part of the story. Now this is an insane thing to reveal, as this is an overpowered use of water magic. With Mercphobia, he was able to command the oceans to such a degree where he can literally be a multi-continental threat just passively. But Anchor is not only able to conjure water out of nowhere, just like a puddle or space of water, he also was seemingly able, without even touching his opponents, to turn them into puddles of water to kill them. Do I think this killed them? Obviously not, but it's a nice way to show how his level of water magic is different from Juvia and Gray's. Now, since Juvia is legitimately made out of water, she probably will be able to reconstitute herself and find a way to do that with potentially her own water make magic if she created it thanks to muscle memory from Gray when they swapped bodies. She might be able to bring Gray back to full strength, or these were duplicates of Gray and Juvia and they try and sneak attack him or try and just hide away so that they can come up with a plan. Because unless Gray comes up with another utilization of his Devil Slayer magic like he did against Viernus, they're screwed without the Dragon Slayer seal and without a Dragon Slayer. Because Gray not only had his whole Maker magic plus Demon Slayer magic, he also had the Dragon Slayer seal active at the same time. So that combination was how he was able to take down Viernus Right now, he doesn't have the Dragon Slayer seal, so even with Maker Magic, I don't think he'll be able to create his own Dragon Slayer magic type thing combined with Ice Maker and Demon Slayer. So that is something to be concerned with. But right now, that is the first of 5 potential matchups. As we cut away to Erza in another area, as seemingly the draconification of the continent has halted for a bit. She's going off as she notices that Natsu's magic has also disappeared, and she goes over to try and find what happened to Natsu and to try and meet up with everybody. But she's cut off by Mother Glare, as she says that Erza is pretty good, but she's also a knight bearing countless sins. As we get the full name drop of what kind of dragon she is the Earth Mother Dragon, Mother Glare of the Calamity Bloods, saying that she is going to cleanse Erza. And when Erza hears sins, well, the way Mother Glare is talking, she's talking like Jalal. And so, Erza equips into a brand new armor, her 7 stars armor. And honestly, this might be my new favorite of Erza's, because the way the cape and outfit and even the blade look like they're just containing just the vastness of space and the constellations within is insane. If this gets animated well, I would love it if it's just constantly flowing, as if every time she moves or it just flutters, it's just the passing of space. That is really cool, and also something I would have loved to see, because this might actually be an armor very well suited to celestial body magic that we all know she can use. So have this type of armor. This could boost celestial body magic, and this could be her way of really holding her own in a fight now. Again, wish we saw this earlier in the fight against Wed, but at this point, you know what? I'm happy that we got a new armor for Erza, and seemingly from the looks of it, it'll allow her to utilize heavenly body magic to its fullest extent. And Erza can also unleash the Dragon Slayer seal on her own, so she has a chance in this 1v1 fight against Mother Glare, though I do want someone to at least give her a hand going forward, because I don't want more people 1v1ing Dragon Gods at this point. But then again, Erza is built different. I can still believe Erza winning. I just want this to be a difficult and long fight. Anyway, that is the second matchup we have so far in this section of the arc, as we cut back to Wendy and Lucy as they got paired up, as they're wandering around trying to find everybody, as they may manage to go where Natsu is as he's still unconscious. Wendy goes up to begin healing Natsu to the maximum amount that she can. Natsu starts breathing again as she begins to heal him with as much as she can until someone shows up. The Rock Soul Dragon, Earthbuild, appears, telling Lucy and Wendy to get away from Natsu because that's his food. But after taking a look at them, he says, you know what, you two look pretty tasty too, as he's going to try and eat them as well for his own snack. As the chapter ends with Lucy and Wendy staring up at Earthbuild, ending the chapter with 3 of the 5 Calamity Bloods having their matchups. Now this was a nice setup chapter, setting up the fights with the Calamity Bloods, establishing Anchor's abilities by seemingly taking out Juvia in an instance, which we all know that's not the case, Erza staying on Mother Glare, revealing a brand new armor, and now that Lucy and Wendy are fighting against Earthbuild, we could potentially see Lucy finally summon Mercphobia and have a Dragon God versus Dragon God-esque level battle with Lucy in a new Stardress form for her, so we can have that established as well. Now that's all of Team A, Natsu unconscious, and Juvia from Team B, taking on 3 of the Calamity Bloods. Which, it seems like my prediction from my next arc is Dragon World video, which I'll leave on screen with the link on top as well, where I basically go over what I want this next section of the story to be like, and why we aren't getting, dragon islands with different biomes and stuff like that. We're just still in a freaking wasteland again, which is kind of boring if I'm going to be honest. We are getting team pair-ups against different characters, except for Erza for right now. Right now we have Lucy and Wendy fighting against one dragon, we have Juvia and Gray versus another, and Erza's flying solo, which could end up showing that the Irrational Saints that are left and the rest of Team B plus Loxus will be split up amongst the last 2 Calamity Bloods to fight, which honestly will not only give the Irrational Saints another chance to fight, even though it's a missed opportunity with what happened with the Irrational Sext, this will give these characters at least a nice thing to do. I would actually like it if all the Seis fought together against one of the dragons, with Cobra leading the charge, being the only one to actually be able to damage them. Meanwhile, the other is, Mira, Elfman, and Loxus fighting against whoever they end up fighting. Though part of me does kind of want Mira to just not be in that section. Let Loxus fight a guy by himself, maybe with Elfman's help, since now he has an older own dragon arm, so he can actually deal damage now. Have Mira go and help Erza, and have those two tag team Mother Glare, because that would actually be perfect. Not only do you get to see more of Mira doing stuff, but you actually get to see Mira and Erza actually fight together on screen, as those two were the strongest in the guild at one point. So I would really appreciate it if that was the case. And again, Diablos hasn't made their appearance just yet, and Athena is still a loose plot thread. And Elefsaria is nowhere to be found yet, so we have a lot of players left to help in the fight against the Calamity Bloods. Though part of me would like to see somebody fight Ignia off until Natsu joins back up in the fight. But either way, things are being set up for this to be the last segment of the story, and I would really appreciate it. This is a long stretch of big final fights, because I would love this to be a raid boss-esque run for the series to cap this section off. Because 100 Years Quest does feel like it needs to end soon, and this feels like the perfect time to do so, because the Dragon Gods have basically been defeated, save for Ignia, but we have replacements that are working with Ignia to a degree, so this does kind of feel like a good boss rush type deal. At least that's what I would like to happen. Either way, for right now, we have our matchups for everyone so far, and I'm curious to see what the next two matchups will end up being, because I would love once more to see a lot of team fights, because I do believe characters fighting beside each other and using their abilities in creative and fun ways was one of Fairy Tail's biggest strengths in the original series. So I would love to see more of that, and I do think this is the best opportunity Mashima has to literally do that. But you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in this chapter down below. Again, this is a pretty solid chapter as a setup, and again, I'm hyped to see what happens next, because at the very least, this is just going to be a fun read going forward. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want just a little bit more to help boost the stakes and tension. Either way, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and what do you think will happen in the future of this story down in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and hype up the video to boost the algorithm. Shows you guys like what I do here and you want to see more. Fairy Tail Train ain't stopping soon. We got more videos planned in the future, so look forward to those. With all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day.